Good morning everyone, this is Rose and welcome to Mathematics in a Modern World. Our topic for today is measures of dispersion. So part of statistics and data. So in measures of dispersion is a single value that describes the spread of distribution. These are the range, inter-quarter range, the variance, and standard deviation. So in range, tells the difference between the highest and the lowest observation in a set of data. So the range equals to the highest value minus the lowest value. That is the formula of range. Next is inter-quarter range. So it is the middle of 50% of set data. It is the difference between the upper and the lower quartiles. So that is inter-quarter range. Next is the variation. So in variation is the based on the mean that implies the square distance of each variation of observation. So there are two parts of variation. So first is population variance. So in population variance, a population size n describes the variation from the mean of the x sub 1's observation in the population. So population size n describes the variation from the mean of the x sub 1's observation. So the formula the population squared equals to summation of I equals 1 to n quantity x sub I minus mu squared over n. So that is the population variance. So kung population standard deviation siya, kung natin sa standard deviation in population, ano lang ang squared na square root. So population equals to the square root summation of I equals 1 to n quantity x sub I of x sub 1 minus squared over n. So that is the formula. So next, the second part is the sample variation or variance. So in sample variation or variance, so this is a sample size of n describe the variation from the mean. Sample size n describes the variation of the mean from the mean observation. So formula niya, sample variance squared equals to summation of I equals to 1 to n x sub 1 bar x squared over n minus 1. So kung i-sample standard deviation naman siya, deviation square root lang din s square root of summation I cos 1 to n quantity x sub 1 minus bar x squared over n minus 1. So that is the formula in variance deviation. So next is the standard deviation. So in standard deviation, it is the square root of standard variance. So SD equals to square root of quantity x minus x bar squared over n minus 1. So that is the standard deviation. So n is the total number of x values in the set. Ang x sub 1 naman o x sub I is the individual values. And var x is the mean of all values. So that is the standard deviation. And next is the example. So let's go to the example. With given data na 28, 25, 24, 29, 33, 42, 25, 39, 32, 21, 30, 31, and 48. So find the range, variance, and standard deviation. So this is the example in your book, Mathematics in the Modern World. So first is find the range. So range is the highest value to the lowest value. So range is the highest value in this set is 48. So 48 minus the lowest value. So the lowest value in this set is 21. So 21. So 48 minus 21. So that is the range. 48 minus 21 is 27. So next is the variance and standard deviation. So we make a table for each set. So the given data, which is the x, then the var x, which is this is the mean, and quantity or x minus var x quantity, then quantity or var minus var x squared. So that is the table. Then input the x values in the set to the lowest muna to the highest value of number. So 21. Next is 24. Next is 24, 25. So dalawang 25. Then 28. Next is 29. 30, 31, 32, 33, 39, 42, and 48. So, dagdagan natin yung so, this is the mean. So what is the mean of this set? So mean is the average. So 21 siya, i-add mo sa 21, 24, 25, 25, 28, 29, 30. So, i-add lang siya. 30, 32, 33, 39, 32, and 48. So, kung i-add siya, 21 plus 24 plus 25 plus 25 plus 28 plus 29 plus 30 plus 31 plus 32 plus 33 plus 39 plus 42 and plus 48 over n, or the number of observation or in a set. Ilang number daw siya? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, over 13. So, i-add siya. Kung i-add mo siya using the calculator, ang equivalent niya is 31.31. So, ilagay lahat sa 31.31 because that is the mean of this set or the average of this set. Thirty-one. Yan. So, what is the x minus quantity x? I-minus mo lang itong si 21 minus, so si 21 minus 31.31 equals to 10.31. Next is si 24 minus 31.31 equals to 7.31. Next is 25 minus 31.31 equals to 6.31. Next is same 6.31. Then 28 plus minus 31.31 is 3.31. Then 29 minus 31.31 is 2.31. Next is 30 minus 31.31 is 1.31. Next is 31 minus 31.31 equals to 0.31. Next is 32 minus 31.31 is 0.69. Next is 33 minus 31 equals to 1.69. Then 39 minus 31.31 equals 7.69. And 42 minus 31.31 equals to 10.69. And last 48 minus 31.31 equals 16.69. So, kung i-square mo siya, so i-square mo 10.3 squared equals to 106.2961. Then, i-square mo naman siya 7.31 squared. Gayahin lang ito na formula equals to 53.4361. Next is ito naman squared. So, magiging 39.8161. Same, 39.8161. Next is squared mo siya. So, 3.31 squared equals to 10.9561. Next is 2.31 squared equals to 5.3361. Next is 1.31 squared equals to 1.7161. Next is 0.31 squared equals to 0.0961. Next is 0.69 squared, magiging 0.4761. Next is 1.71 1.69 squared equals to 2.8561. I-calculate mo lang siya using calculator. And 7.69 squared equals to 59.1361. Then 10.69 squared lang siya equals to 114.2761. And the last is 16.69 squared equals to 278.5561. So that is the square root of this. So that is the answer. Next is how to calculate the variance. So using the variance, So variance formula, kung population siya equals to square root of summation x over mu squared over n. Kung sample naman, sample equals to s squared summation x minus yx squared n over 1. So, for example, this population. So, ito na formula is same lang dito. So, summation of this daw. So, answer niya, i-add lang sa lahat. I-add. So, addition lahat using calculator. So, para makuha si population, para sigma na lang siya, squared din both sides. Magiging sigma summation x minus v squared over n. So, para makuha ito siya na formula, i-add lang siya lahat. 106.2961 to 278.556. So, using calculator, na-add ko na siya. Equals to 712.7693. So, that is the summation to quantity x minus v squared. So, this is the answer. The population or sigma 712.67693 over the n na 13. So 13 is equal to 54.83. So that is the population variance. How about the sample variance? So same summation to this, or total daw nito is 712.7693 over ang n na 13 minus 1. So, sample equals to 59.39 or 59.40. So, in book, sample ang ginamit niya na variance. So, next is the standard deviation. So, standard deviation, na formula niya is equals to square root of quantity x minus x bar squared over the n minus 1. So, SD square root of summation. So, summation yung kanina na ito. Then, summation or sum of total number of these. So, summation 712.7693 over the enthalpy minus 1. So, standard deviation equals to square root of 700.7693 over 12 is 7.70. So, that is the standard deviation. Itong sample variance is the answer. Kung population variance, the answer and the range. So, kung gagawa ng table o data, ang standard deviation, isa-isahin na pag ang x, isulat lahat ng value sa pinakamaliit na value to the highest or descending to the highest. Then, the mean, calculate the mean or the average of this set. Then, i-minus mo lang siyang ang x minus x bar. Then, squared para ito na answer niya. And summation of this or the total sum of this is equals to this formula. So, this para makuha si sample variance and the population variance. So, SD, ito ang formula, square root of summation x, quantity x minus x bar squared over n minus 1. So, that is the standard deviation, and thank you, and God bless.